All of England awaits William's ascent to the throne, but his heart has never known peace since the day he lost his mother. Now an old wooden box unearthed from Oval Lake carries Princess Diana's final message. Under the weight of royal expectations, the scrutiny of the media, and memories that have never healed, William realizes that to move forward he must confront the past, and perhaps this is the moment he finds answers for himself. A light drizzle falls over the fields of Northamptonshire, where Oval Lake, the resting place of Princess Diana, silently mirrors the murky droplets. In the autumn of 2024, England is stepping into the early days of King Charles III's reign, a time both fresh and fraught with unease. Ancient oaks stand quietly along the path to Althorpe House, like silent witnesses to a tragedy that has never truly ended. The Spencer family, Diana's kin, has just made an announcement that has sent ripples across the nation. Oval Lake will be renovated in preparation for the 30th anniversary of her passing in 2027. This decision is not merely a tribute, but a pledge to the public, those who still call Diana the People's Princess, that her legacy will forever be cherished. Yet no one could have foreseen that within this sacred ground, a long-buried secret was about to be awakened. That morning, beneath a leaden sky, James, a young construction worker, shovels layers of damp earth near the lake's edge. "I've brought it," William says, placing the box on the desk. He stands tall, but his eyes betray his unease. Charles gazes at the box, his brow furrowing. "Open it," Charles says, his voice calm but tinged with a tremor. William nods carefully, lifting the lid. Inside are 3 items: a yellowed piece of paper, an old photograph, and a gleaming silver locket. William picks up the paper, first his mother's graceful handwriting clear before him. "If you read this, know that I always love you." He reads silently, his heart aching. The next line stops him cold. "I'm not afraid of death, only of the truth being buried forever." Charles leans over his son's shoulder, reading the words. His face remains impassive, but his hand grips the armrest tightly. "This is her handwriting," he says, his voice barely above a whisper. But in his mind, a storm is brewing. He thinks of the years after Diana's death, the accusations, the conspiracies, and the secrets the royal family has fought to keep hidden. Could this paper be the key to a door he dreads opening? William sets the paper down and picks up the photograph. It shows him and Harry, 2 young boys with radiant smiles, standing beside their mother on a summer day at Kensington. Diana, her eyes brimming with love, embraces them both. He remembers that moment, a rare day without cameras, without pressure, filled only with his mother's love. Now the photo is a painful reminder of what he's lost. The locket is the final item. William opens it, revealing the delicate inscription, "Always believe." Inside, there's no picture, just an enigmatic void. He clutches the locket, feeling as though his mother is speaking to him, though her message remains unclear. "What do you think of this, Father?" William asks, breaking the silence. He looks directly at Charles, seeking an answer, but fearing what he might hear. Charles sighs, rising and walking to the window. "The Spencers were right to renovate Oval Lake. It's a way to honor your mother. But this," he gestures to the box, "it could complicate everything. The public will ask questions. The press won't let it go." William frowns. "So what do we do? Hide it?" There's a trace of bitterness in his voice. He recalls the days after his mother's death, when the royal family chose silence over addressing the public's grief. He doesn't want to repeat that mistake, but he also feels the weight of his responsibilities. Charles turns his gaze steely. "We don't hide it, but we need to control it. If this truly belonged to your mother, we must understand its meaning before the world judges it." William doesn't reply. He looks down at the locket, the words, "Always believe," whispering to him. In his heart, a battle rages: duty to the monarchy versus love for the mother who sacrificed so much. He knows that despite his father's desire to control the narrative, the truth, as Diana's words suggest, won't easily be buried again. Rain continues to patter on the tiled roof of Clarence House, as if the sky weeps alongside memories that never fade. William sits in his quiet study, the weathered wooden box from Oval Lake before him. His gaze is fixed on the old photograph, him and Harry, 2 boys beaming beside their mother on a summer day long gone. But that warm moment cannot soothe the pain rising within him. As he touches the paper bearing his mother's handwriting, memories of autumn 1997 flood back vivid and merciless. On September 6, 1997, London was shrouded in gloom. Princess Diana's funeral was not just an event. It was a deep wound in the heart of England. William, then only 15, walked behind his mother's coffin, his feet heavy as if bound by lead. Beside him was Harry, 12, his face pale and eyes vacant. The brother spoke no words, only stepped in time to the slow drumbeat under the gaze of millions lining the streets. William vividly recalls the crowd's sobs, the pained whispers as the white flower-draped coffin passed. Bouquets and handwritten signs reading "People's Princess" piled high outside Kensington Palace. He wanted to turn away to escape the public's eyes, but he couldn't. He was the Prince of Wales, and duty forced him to face his grief before the world. Inside, a storm of anger and helplessness raged. He was furious at his mother for leaving so suddenly, at the royal family for irreparable rifts, and at himself for failing to protect her. But above all, he felt an indescribable emptiness, as if part of his soul had been torn away and buried with her in the cold earth. Harry, his little brother, suffered differently. William remembers Harry's eyes in the days after the funeral, not angry, but bewildered like a lost child. Harry once asked, his voice trembling, "Why is everyone crying so much? Will Mum's coming back right?" William couldn't answer. He only hugged his brother tightly, hiding his own tears. Back in 2024, William, now a 42-year-old man, still carries the shadow of that day. He has grown under the monarchy's immense pressure, where every action and word must be measured to protect the crown's image. He's learned to smile for cameras, to answer the press without revealing emotion, to suppress pain, to be the perfect heir. But each mention of his mother makes him feel like that helpless 15-year-old again. Harry chose a different path, one William struggles to comprehend. After years battling the media and the monarchy's stifling rules, Harry left seeking freedom in America with Meghan and their children. William tried to hold him back, arguing fiercely about duty and responsibility. But Harry only shook his head, saying, "You don't get it, Will. I can't live in that cage anymore." The gap between them widened, and though William won't admit it, he feels partly to blame. The next morning, news of the wooden box at Oval Lake explodes across the headlines. No one knows exactly what's inside the Spencers, and the royal family have locked down information, but that only fuels public curiosity. Major papers like The Times and The Sun run provocative headlines, "Diana's secret: what was hidden at Althorpe." On social media, the hashtag Diana's secret spreads like wildfire, with countless theories, a love letter, a prophecy, or even evidence of a conspiracy. A post on X, shared thousands of times, asks, "If Diana hid something, will the royals dare to reveal it?" At Clarence House, William sits before the TV, watching a BBC report with a stony expression. Catherine, his wife, stands behind him, resting a hand on his shoulder to comfort him. "They don't know anything, William," she says softly, her voice tinged with worry. "It's just speculation." "But they won't stop," William replies, his voice low. They never stop when it comes to Mum. He recalls the years after Diana's death, when the press relentlessly dug into her private life and fueled conspiracy theories about the crash. The public loves Diana, but they also crave secrets, and this box, its contents, still unknown, has reignited that hunger. William thinks of the paper in the box, his mother's words, "I'm not afraid of death, only of the truth being buried forever." They feel like a prophecy, a warning, and they send a shiver through him. What did she know, and why did she hide it where only fate could find it? Meanwhile, at Buckingham Palace, King Charles III calls an urgent meeting with his media advisors. Camilla, seated beside him, maintains a calm facade, but her hands grip the table tightly. "We need to quash this before it goes too far," she says, her voice sharp. "The public doesn't need another Diana myth. They've had enough." Charles doesn't respond immediately. He stares out the window where rain falls steadily. He knows the power of Diana's legacy, a force that can bolster the monarchy or destroy it. "We can't deny the box," he says at last, "but we can shape the story. Let people think it's just a personal keepsake, nothing more." But deep down, Charles isn't certain that will suffice to extinguish the growing fire. The public isn't just curious, they're suspicious. They doubt the monarchy, question what happened 27 years ago, and above all, suspect that the full truth about Diana's death has never been told. The rain has eased, but London's sky remains gray, mirroring William's heavy mood. In his study at Clarence House, he sits in contemplation, still clutching the silver locket inscribed with "Always Believe." The photograph of him, Harry, and their mother, along with Diana's handwritten note, lies on the desk like pieces of a puzzle he can't yet solve. The phone's sudden ring cuts through his thoughts. The screen displays the caller's name, Harry. William takes a deep breath, his finger hesitating over the answer button. He knows this call won't be easy. Since Harry left the royal family, their conversations have been prickly laden with unspoken disagreements and hurts. But today, after the discovery at Oval Lake, William feels a powerful urge to reconnect with his brother. He presses accept. Will Harry's voice comes through urgent and emotional. "Have you seen the news, the box at Althorpe? Is it real? What do you know?" In Montecito, Harry stands in his living room, California sunlight streaming through the windows, but his face is taut as if he's at the heart of London's storm. William sighs, his voice low but gentle. "It's real, Harry. I've seen it. Father and I opened the box yesterday." He pauses, searching for words to convey his feelings. Inside, there's a note from Mum, a photo of the three of us, and a locket. It's all hers. Harry is silent for a moment, processing. "What did she write?" he asks, his voice hoarse. William hears the longing in the question, a desire to touch a piece of their mother, even if only through her words. William picks up the note, his eyes tracing Diana's graceful script. She wrote, "If you read this, know that I always love you." He reads slowly, his voice catching. Then she continued, "I'm not afraid of death, only of the truth being buried forever." That's all. No signature, but I know it's her. I feel her in every word. On the other end, Harry grips the phone, eyes closed. He remembers the times his mother held him, whispering that she'd always be there no matter what. The note's words are a reminder that her love never left, but also a painful question. What truth was she afraid would be buried? "Tell me about the photo," Harry says, his voice trembling. "Which one is it?" William looks at the picture on the desk, a simple but profound moment. "It's from Kensington, summer of '95, I think. You and I are with Mum on the lawn. You're laughing and I've got my arm around you. Mum, she's looking at us like we're her whole world." He smiles sadly, recalling that day, a rare one, without paparazzi lenses, filled with laughter and his mother's warmth. Harry remembers it too. He recalls how their mother chased him across the grass, pretending to be a monster to make him giggle. "She always did everything to make us happy," he says, his voice thick with emotion. "She never wanted us to feel the monarchy's pressure. She wanted us to just be kids." William nods, though Harry can't see. "Yeah, and the locket, it's engraved with 'Always Believe.' I don't know what she meant, but holding it, I feel like she's here telling us not to give up." Harry is quiet, but William senses his brother grappling with emotion. Finally, Harry speaks, his voice firmer. "Will we have to figure out what she wanted? If she hid that box, it wasn't by chance. She wanted us to find it. She wanted us to do something." William tightens his grip on the locket, his heart heavy. "Harry, it's just old memories of Mum. I can't do more than that. The press is already circling. If we're not careful, they'll turn this into a nightmare." Harry lets out a bitter chuckle. "They turned her life into a nightmare, Will. You think we can stop them? The public needs the truth, and you know it. You can't keep protecting that gilded cage." Harry's words cut like a blade, sharp and true. William feels anger flare, but reins it in. He recalls their arguments, his attempts to keep Harry close, and the times Harry walked away. But today, talking about their mother, he doesn't want their divide to grow. "Harry," William says, his voice slow but resolute, "I won't promise to do everything your way, but I promise you and Mum that I won't let what's in this box be forgotten. We'll find its meaning together." Harry exhales as if shedding a burden. "Thank you, Will," he says, softer now. "I don't know where this will lead, but I know Mum would want us together." The call ends, but William remains seated, staring at the locket. He thinks of his mother, of the unconditional love she gave him and Harry. No matter how the world crumbles or the monarchy shakes, he knows that love can never be buried, and perhaps that love will guide him and Harry through the storm ahead. The media storm, simmering for days, erupts with new ferocity as the latest revelation breaks. A leak, its source unknown, has disclosed the contents of Diana's note to a British tabloid. The line, "I'm not afraid of death, only of the truth being buried forever," becomes the focal point of every discussion. Experts from historians to investigative journalists offer theories. Some suggest Diana foresaw danger before her 1997 crash. A CNN analyst declares, "The princess's words imply she knew something, a secret tied to the royals or larger forces." Conspiracy theories smoldering for 27 years flare up like wildfire rocking England. At Clarence House, William sits at his desk, a stack of newspapers and printed online articles piled before him. He scans. The Guardian's headline, "Public Demands Truth About Diana." His face is tense, his hands gripping the desk's edge. He knows each word is not just a story, but a blade slicing into a wound that never healed. Catherine enters, placing a cup of tea before her husband, her eyes filled with concern. "William, you can't control everything," she says gently, "but you need to decide, how do we face this?" William doesn't answer immediately. He thinks of last night's call with Harry, the promise to uncover the box's meaning together. But now, with the world watching, the pressure feels crushing. He is the Duke of Wales' heir to the throne, and every move could shape the monarchy's future. Yet he is also Diana's son, the woman who gave everything for love and truth. Meanwhile, at Gatcombe Park, Princess Anne, King Charles III's sister, reviews a private report on the matter. With her silver hair neatly tied and her gaze piercing, Anne exudes unshakable authority. A woman of action, she never lets emotion cloud her judgment. In the royal family, she is revered not just for her status, but for her bluntness and impeccable honor. As news of the box spreads, Anne is the only one with the credibility to demand an independent verification of the artifact's authenticity. Anne dismisses conspiracy theories as products of imagination and public fervor. But she's not naive. She knows Diana's legacy, however noble, poses a constant threat to the monarchy's stability. Determined to keep the narrative from being hijacked by the press or opportunists, she picks up the phone and dials William. The call connects instantly. "William," her voice is crisp and sharp. "What are you doing about this mess?" William, still in his study, startles at Anne's voice. "Aunt Anne," he replies, striving for calm, "I'm trying to manage it. But the press, they're like vultures, and the public won't stop asking questions." "Don't talk to me about the press," Anne cuts in, her tone unyielding. "I don't care what they write. I care about the truth. The items in that box, the note, the photo, the locket, are they real? And if so, what do they say about your father's sister-in-law?" William takes a deep breath, recounting what he saw in the box, from his mother's handwriting to the locket's inscription. He doesn't hide his emotions, but his voice carries a hint of caution, as if he fears confronting the deeper meaning of the artifacts. Anne listens without interrupting. When he finishes, she speaks, her voice low but resolute. "William, I'll request an independent team of experts to verify those items. Not because I doubt them, but because we need transparency. The public isn't foolish. They won't accept a half-baked explanation from the royals." William nods, though Anne can't see. "I agree, Aunt. But if these are mums and they lead to something bigger, what then? I don't know if the monarchy is ready to face it." Anne pauses, weighing her words. Then she replies, her voice deep and powerful. "William, you're Diana's son. Your mother never ran from the truth, no matter how painful. Don't let royal duty turn you into a coward. Face the past, not for the public, but for yourself and for your mother." Anne's words hit William like a punch. He recalls his mother's stories about Anne, the fierce woman who stood firm through every storm. He knows she's right, but his heart is torn. He wants to protect the monarchy, his father, and the values he was raised to uphold. Yet he can't ignore his mother's call, from the note, the locket, the love she left behind. After the call, Anne wastes no time. She contacts a team of experts in document and artifact authentication, instructing them to work discreetly but swiftly. She knows time is against the monarchy. With each passing hour, the press unearths new theories and public patience wanes. But Anne isn't doing this for the public. She's doing it for honor, the honor of the monarchy, and of Diana, whom she always respected, even if they were never close. The rain has stopped, but the air at Clarence House remains heavy, as if gray clouds still linger in William's mind. His usually tidy study is now cluttered with reports, newspaper clippings, and handwritten notes. At the desk's center sits the wooden box from Oval Lake, its lid open, revealing the yellowed note, the old photo, and the gleaming silver locket. They are fragments of his mother, but also wordless questions weighing on his shoulders. The investigation launched by Princess Anne concluded after 3 days of discreet work. A carefully selected team of experts in documents, artifacts, and chemistry delivered their final report this morning, sealed in an envelope sent directly from Anne's office. William opened it with trembling hands, unsure whether he hoped or feared what he'd find. The report is concise but definitive. The note, photo, and locket are authentic. The handwriting on the note matches Diana's samples from the 1990s, stored in the Spencer family archives. The photo, though, faded bears ink and paper traits from that era. The locket, crafted from sterling silver, carries the mark of a renowned London jeweler who worked for Diana. There are no signs of forgery, but what stops William is the report's final point. There's no concrete evidence linking the note to an assassination plot. The line, "I'm not afraid of death, only of the truth being buried forever," may reflect emotion or a personal message, not a direct accusation. The experts note no additional clues in the box tie it to conspiracy theories about Diana's death. The 1997 crash, at least from what they can verify, remains an accident. William sinks into his chair, the report slipping from his hand onto the desk. He feels a strange emptiness, not relief, not disappointment, but a profound stillness. What had he expected? A clear answer. A shocking secret to change everything, or just a way to feel closer to his mother. He's no longer sure. He picks up the locket, his fingers tracing the inscription. "Always believe." He reads it repeatedly, as if the words could unlock a hidden door. Believe in what, Mom, he wonders. Love truth or us? The locket is cold in his hand, but its weight far exceeds its small size. William closes his eyes, and for a moment he feels his mother is near, whispering through faded memories. At Buckingham Palace, King Charles III receives a copy of the report. He reads it in his study, eyes fixed on each line. Camilla sits across from him, hands clasped, her face tense but composed. When Charles finishes, he sets the report down, exhaling. "So nothing," he says quietly. "No conspiracy, no proof. Just a keepsake." Camilla nods, but her eyes remain sharp. "We need to announce this, Charles. The public is waiting. If we stay silent, they'll keep speculating, and the conspiracy theories will never die." Charles gazes out the window where faint sunlight filters through the garden trees. He recalls the days after Diana's death, when the monarchy faced criticism for its silence and detachment. He doesn't want to repeat that error, but he knows any statement about the box will reopen old wounds. "We'll let William decide," he says finally. He's closest to Diana. The public will want to hear from him. Camilla frowns but doesn't argue. She knows William, with his image as a grieving yet steadfast son, is the only one who can calm the media storm. But she fears that William, driven by love for his mother, might go too far and drag the monarchy into a new crisis. Oval Lake, bathed in the gentle sunlight of summer, stands as a serene painting at the heart of Althorpe. Ancient oaks line the path to the lake, their green leaves swaying softly in the breeze. Silent witnesses to 3 decades of sorrow and hope. Today, the 30th anniversary memorial for Princess Diana takes place here, not only to honor her legacy, but to close a turbulent chapter in the history of the British monarchy. The area around the lake is adorned simply but elegantly. White bouquets, roses, and lilies. Diana's favorites line the water's edge, interspersed with flickering candles. The public, barred from the main area, gathers on nearby roads, carrying photos of Diana and handwritten signs reading, "People's Princess Lives Forever." Cameras from major outlets from BBC to CNN are discreetly positioned, capturing every moment. William, Harry, Catherine, and Princess Anne stand together on a small wooden platform by the lake. William, in a simple black suit, his gaze pensive but resolute, holds Catherine's hand. She wears a pale green dress reminiscent of Diana's style. Harry, beside his brother, sports a beard and a white shirt, tucked out, casual yet dignified. Princess Anne, her silver hair neatly tied and eyes piercing, stands tall, embodying the monarchy's resilience. Far away at Buckingham Palace, King Charles III and Queen Camilla watch the ceremony via live broadcast. They chose not to attend Althorpe, a decision deemed wise by media advisors to avoid unwanted attention. Charles sits in his study, hands clasped, his eyes tinged with sadness, but also relief. Camilla beside him maintains a calm demeanor, though her pursed lips betray tension. They know all eyes are on William Diana's son, bearing both her legacy and the monarchy's burdens. The ceremony begins with a soft hymn from a choir behind the platform. Then William steps to the podium, holding the microphone with steady hands, though his heart races. The crowd falls silent, only the breeze rustling through the trees audible. William looks out at Oval Lake, where his mother rests, and feels an invisible strength flow through him, as if Diana is there, smiling and lending him courage. 30 years ago, William begins, his voice warm but clear. We lost a mother, a friend, and an icon of compassion. Princess Diana. My mother touched the hearts of millions, not just in Britain, but worldwide. She taught us about love, courage, and standing up for what's right. He pauses, his gaze sweeping over Harry, Catherine, and Anne before continuing. When the wooden box was found at Oval Lake, the world asked questions. So did we. We wondered what my mother meant, what she left behind. So we conducted an independent, transparent investigation to find the truth. William takes a deep breath, his voice growing more emotional. The results showed the box held my mother's keepsakes, a note for Harry and me, a photo of the three of us, and a locket inscribed with "Always Believe." No conspiracy, no dark secrets, just a mother's love for her sons and a reminder that truth, however simple, is always worth cherishing. The crowd stirs softly, not from disappointment, but from emotion. Many who grew up with Diana's image wipe away tears. William glances at Harry, seeing his brother's faint smile, a mix of pride and sorrow. He presses on, his voice steadier. My mother once said, "Believe in love, in truth, and in yourself." Today we stand here not just to remember her, but to commit to those values. We believe in the love she gave us, the truth she sought, and ourselves to carry her legacy forward, not through myths, but through actions. William concludes his speech, stepping down to gentle but warm applause. Harry approaches, embracing him tightly, whispering, "Mum would be proud of you, Will." Catherine takes William's hand, her eyes shining with faith and love. Princess Anne's silent nods with a rare smile, affirming William's choice. As the ceremony ends, William, Harry, Catherine, and Anne place white bouquets on the lake's surface. The petals drift slowly, mingling with the sparkling sunlight, a final farewell to Diana. The cameras pan out, capturing the tranquil lake, once the epicenter of grief and mystery. The path to the lake, lined with oaks, standing firm through the years, seems to carry a new peace, as if the painful past has found reconciliation with the present. As the sunlight fades, William stands alone by Oval Lake, clutching the locket he's carried since the investigation's report. He opens it, gazes at "Always Believe" once more, and smiles. "I believe, Mum," he whispers. "I always will." Oval Lake quietly reflects the blue sky, and in that moment it's as if Diana smiles from afar, content that her sons have found their path, the path of love, truth, in themselves. Hit like, share, and subscribe to spread this heartfelt story of Diana and the journey to uncover the truth.